this is a song that you said you wanted to hear my request. This is my request. And here's my little story about this song. Welcome back. This is the third and final leg of the Blackie Fitzpatrick 4th of July special. That's why I'm wearing the firecracker hot. Yeah, whatever. College shit. So, everybody at home, I know you music fans, music aficionados like me. Nobody else would watch this, trust me. So it means you're into music. This is a lesson. I've been a music teacher for a long, long time. And this is a part of my high-level lesson thing here. For listeners at home, all you got to do is, so there's good, ba, 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 right? That's the thing. Down, down, 1, 2, 3, ba, ba, ba. Okay, that's easy, right? And that's what the groove is in this lovely track, Max Tundra, Lysine, with Max's sister is singing. In 2002, the song came out in London. I was listening to the MTV London, whatever, back in those days, and I saw the video, and I was like, this song is nuts because of what happens next. It's funny. I'll tell you a little loophole here. You're allowed to play music on YouTube if you talk about the reasons why you're playing it. It's for educational purposes. Maybe I said too much. So here I am, stopping in the middle of the song. Listeners at home, this is what I give to advanced students, and it's simple. The song is in 4/4, right? 1, 2, 3, ba ba. 1, 2, 3, 4, ba. 2, 3, ba ba ba. So it's super, super easy, right? Now it doesn't change through the rest of the song. Here comes the ending part, and listeners at home, and be honest, press 1 if it's easy to keep the beat. Tap it on your knee or whatever, right? Or clap your hands at home, whatever it is, right? In your head, I don't care. There's no prize for this, all right? This is just how I used to challenge my students. Some people tell me they like my stories, right? So I'm a music teacher, all different levels. This is a high level, high. I'm not talking about jazz fusion 7/4 time. This is in 4/4. I'm already telling you what it is. The challenge is, can you tap it all the way through without losing the beat? Be fair, and if you find it easy, press 1. Don't lie. I'll know if you're lying. I'm a music teacher. And press 2 if you find it challenging. And we'll talk about it after. Here it comes. It's the same group. Remember, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you can tap all the way through that one, you definitely have rhythm.
Long distance information, give me Memphis, Tennessee. Help me find the party, try to get in touch with me. She could not leave her number, but I know who placed the call. 'Cause my uncle took the message and he wrote it on the wall. Get in touch with my Marie. She's the only one who'd phone me here from Memphis, Tennessee.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you a story. It's true, and I have to say it in code. I'll just say it this way. Happy 4th of July from Venice Beach, Florida.
Montag, lieben, glauben, globen. And all the girlies say I'm pretty fly for a white guy. You know it's kinda hard just to get along today. Our subject isn't cool, but he fakes it anyway. He may not have a clue and he may not have style, but everything he lacks, well, he makes up in denial. So don't keep playing, play us straight. You
From God rest his soul, poor bastard, drove himself over a cliff in Dominican Republic, island of Hispaniola. No, he's from Vienna, and anybody who knows me knows that I worked together with Ben Arslan, and then we worked together with Falco's keyboard player. And so we got to hear a lot of stories about Falco. Falco was like a hero and a legend in Vienna, and I guess people know about him all around the world, but he's huge. I mean, in Austria, I mean, you say the name Falco, and it's like, boom. So it was a privilege to work together with Ben and with our music and Falco's keyboard player studio and gratis, so he got a percentage of the cut. There was no money paid up front. He did everything on handshake deal. Very cool guy. I can only say good things about it. I got Jerry and the Pacemakers on deck, but I'm into like listening to different languages right now because this is music without borders. And today's Independence Day here in USA. But I mean, I'll speak for myself. I mean, I know I have Romanian blood inside of me. I know I've got like German blood. I've got Irish blood, Scottish blood, whatever, right? And somehow I ended up in growing up in Massachusetts. But I know my family roots and all that stuff. And it's nice. I don't have any Italian in me, so I feel like I wanted to hear some Italian tonight. So let's go to Italy for a moment, huh? Together with somebody who's from Boston.
Sorry is all that you can say. Years gone by and still words don't come easily. Like sorry, like sorry.
Perdonami, è una parola che tu non dici mai e non ti è facile dire. Perdonami, perdonami.
At the right time, you'll be mine.
Io t'amo, è una parola che tu non dici mai.
Words don't come easily.
Thank you for that recording on YouTube. I love YouTube. Of course, yeah, that's Pavarotti and Tracy Chapman live with the beautiful, beautiful song that she wrote. And that duet really does it sums up what Music Without Borders is all about. It's not about, you know what I mean? It's like, you know what I mean. Anybody who can hear my voice who doesn't know what I mean, that means you haven't subscribed yet and you never pressed like. Music Without Borders is about everything with notes. Let's stay in Italy.
¿Cómo comenzamos? Yo no lo sé. La historia que no tiene fin. Ni cómo llegaste a ser la mujer que toda la vida pedí. Contigo hace falta pasión y un toque de poesía y sabiduría, pues yo trabajo con fantasías. ¿Recuerdas el día que te canté? Fue un súbito escalofrío. Por si no lo sabes, pero diré, yo nunca dejé de sentirlo. Contigo hace falta pasión, no debe fallar. También maestría, pues yo trabajo con el corazón. Cantar al amor ya no bastará. Es poco para mí si quiero decirte que nunca habrá cosa más bella que tú, cosa más linda que tú, única como eres, inmensa cuando quieres. Gracias por existir. ¿Cómo comenzamos? Yo no lo sé. La historia que toca su fin, que ese es el misterio que no se fue, lo llevo aquí dentro de mí. Serán los recuerdos que no dejan pasar la edad. Serán las palabras, pues yo sabrás mi trabajo es amor. Cantar con amor ya no bastará. Es poco para mí si quiero decirte que nunca habrá cosa más bella que tú, cosa más linda que tú, única como eres, inmensa cuando quieres. Gracias por existir. Cosa más bella que tú, cosa más linda que tú, única como eres, inmensa cuando quieres. Gracias por existir. Gracias por existir. Cosa más bella que tú, gracias por existir.
Happy 4th of July here from Venice Beach, Florida. I tell you, you're listening to Music Without Borders, and That means you'll never walk alone. Crank it up.
Sometimes when this place gets kind of empty, sound of the breath fades with the lights. I think about the loveless fascination under the Milky Way tonight. Lower the curtain down Memphis. Lower the curtain down, alright. I got no time for private consultation under the Milky Way tonight. Wish I knew what you were looking for. Might I know what you would find? And it's something quite peculiar, something shimmering and white. It leads you here, despite your destination, under the Milky Way tonight. Wish I knew what you were looking for. Might I know what you will find? Wish I knew what you were looking for. Might I know what you will find? And it's something quite peculiar, something that's shimmering and white. Leads you here, despite your destination, under the Milky Way tonight. Wish I knew what you were looking for. Might I know what you will find? Wish I knew what you were looking for. Might I know what you will find?
Uh, 1988. No, it's not Ian McCullough. That is The Church from Down Under with their hit single In the Underground. across USA. Under the Milky Way, I had a chance to meet these guys. Their first concert in USA was in Boston, and I happened to be at a place where I used to go to a lot and stuff, hang around for sound checks. And so I was at the sound check for the church and got to meet those guys on their first gig. And they're really, really nice guys, very, very cool, just normal guys. Actually, I met them. I was working at a convenience store. True story. 17 years old, Kenmore Square, Boston. Keep up. Like it was called Store 24, like a 7-Eleven, whatever, one of these 24-hour store things, right? And I had the graveyard shift, midnight until 8 o'clock. And this guy around my age, he comes in, and he says, dude, man, he says, do you get to pick the music here? And I said, yeah. He says, you're listening to the Smiths? And I said, yeah. I said, yeah, I got it. How soon is now? I got the cassette tape going here. He said, well, that's cool. He says, I opened up for them last month. And I was like, what you talking about, Willis? He said, no. He says, I'm in a group you might know. And I said, who are you? And he says, I'm the drummer from the church. And I said, what you talking about, Willis? And here I am at the cash register, and I says, how much? Those Twinkies are going to be $2.75, and you want a pack of Salem? All right, okay. And he's like going, he says, hey, we got a concert tomorrow. It's our first concert in USNA. And I said, he said, are you a musician? I said, I better. I look like one. He says, yeah. I said, I'm a drummer too, like you. And so we had chit chat, and he says, yeah. He says, bring your band. He says, what's your name? And I says, Alec. And he says, okay, how many guys are in your band? And I said, 3. He says, Alec plus 3. See you tomorrow. And oddly enough, none of the guys in my band showed up. I don't think I've ever told this story before. Anyway, if you're not a huge fan of the church, then it's a boring story. But we were all teenagers. Well, the drummer and me. The other guys were old. They're like super, super old. They're like, they were in their 20s. Blah. And so I connected with this kid and my age, and I'm a drummer, and we like the Smiths. And he opened up, and I was like, dude, man, you opened up for the Smiths. So I show up the next night and go to sound check and hang around backstage, get to meet the guys. And they're all just normal. What do they call them down under? Blokes? No. They're like, yeah, blokey blokes, whatever. They're just normal guys and stuff like that. And it wasn't like this crazy party and whatever. Okay. They never really got super huge, but in the underground, they were on the radio. Like every single college radio station was playing them. I don't know how big they were in England, but I'm sure that they were big in Australia. Anyway, that was the church. But I'm talking too much here. You know what? I'm going to go a little bit over because it's the 4th of July. And so I'm going to go into a celebratory mood. I'm going to stay a little bit later here for you guys until my battery runs out. Let's celebrate. Happy 4th of July from Venice Beach, Florida. that was for Sturgoth. I know, maybe you didn't hear it or whatever, but I played your other one before. But I wanted to hear that one today. But that's My Chemical Romance, "The Ghost of You" is a perfect 4th of July song here for USA. Yeah, I'm staying on a little bit later. I got a request for Styx. I'm going to play Styx, and I had a request for AC/DC. And look, as far as you're listening to Music Without Borders on the Alec Whittier channel. I'm a professional DJ. I've been a professional DJ since I was 14 years old. I'm not here to talk and tell anybody about what it is that I'm doing, but trust me, I know what I'm doing. And so if I hear someone wants to hear AC/DC, I think about, Back in Black, and then I think about someone who I met in London a few days before she died, with her husband, completely hammered, sitting out on my stoop. This is in Notting Hill. Imagine it. Just picture it, right? Not Hugh Grant. No Julia Roberts. Amy Winehouse and her husband, what's his name? Drake or Luke, or he had a name or something. And they're sitting there hammered. And I'm walking by her, and she says, "Oi! Oi!" And I looked at her. I'm walking just to the offie, right? And she says, "Oi! Do I look like Amy Winehouse?" And I looked over at her, and I was like going, "Yeah, you do." So when somebody wants to hear AC/DC, I'm going to play Amy Winehouse.
He left no time to regret. Kept his way with his same old same man.
The problem's plain to see. Too much technology. Machines to save our lives. Machines dehumanize. The time has come at last. Secret, I've got a secret. To throw away the past. Secret, I've got a secret. Now everyone can see. Secret, I've got a secret. My true identity. I'm Kilroy. 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 Kilroy.
I said REM for the last real band. Maybe it's Coldplay. When did I hear Coldplay? The first time was 1998, 99. I think Coldplay is probably the last real band. I don't know. It's a good question. I can't remember who asked that in the chat there. Very good question. It does seem like bands. I'm a rock and roll band guy as well. But as I got older, learned how to be a producer and a singer-songwriter, and solo artist, and so forth. But yeah, the band thing, I guess I'm a witness of it. It is dying. It's sad, actually. The bands, the Rolling Stones, whatever, right? The Beatles. That stuff is like, damn, I'm getting old. We're a part of history. We actually used to go and see bands, and I mean, I'm trying to think about it. You're right, and that's kind of why I stopped playing drums, because nobody wants to. If you have a band, you need a drummer. But if you don't need a drummer, you can be New Order. For example, for me, it was New Order, and I was like going, they don't have a drummer, and they're great. And then I fell in love with the Cocteau Twins. They have a drum machine too, and they're great. So in the '80s, I guess it's probably when maybe early '80s, late '70s, when drum machines came around. That's kind of the end of the band. If there's no drummer, it's kind of not really a band. It's unplugged or whatever, acoustic. You know what I mean? You got to have a band. You got to have a drummer. You got to have a bass player. You got to have a guitar player. You got to have a singer. That's what a band is. Keyboard player, whatever. But it's like, maybe that was the death of it. Unplugged, MTV Unplugged. I mean, MTV is dead anyway, right? They have this unplugged. It's like, what? I want to hear loud music. I'm a rock and roll guy. I mean, look at me. But yeah, maybe it is. Maybe we're part of a dying era. And Music Without Borders, I guess we're trying to keep that alive, right? I mean, classical music is still around, but it's not. Rock and roll got really, really big. What's going to happen next? If rock and roll really dies, maybe we're talking about this a long, long time ago. I know this is like sci-fi movies and stuff, but at a certain point, they're even doing it now with one of these, AI songs and stuff. Here's what Ozzy would sound like if he was singing for the Pet Shop Boys, and it's like, at a certain point, I think people are maybe jaded so much that they're not even going to listen. They don't want to hear a real person's voice. They're just going to hear a computer. That's what Ben Arson wrote that song together with me, but I'm not a computer, my friend. This is how the story ends. And it's like, we're going to put your foot down. We're trying to hold on to, good old rock and roll, I guess. Anyway, I'm getting mildly depressed for some reason. Happy 4th of July to everybody. Once again, keep your pets away from the fireworks. I know my cats don't like it. But I'll be outside listening to the fireworks. Actually, you can probably see they're going to be doing fireworks in the Gulf of Mexico, which is about 2 miles that way from where I'm situated. I just walk outside the house there, and I'll be able to hear and watch the whole thing there. It's going to be the city of Venice is putting on a show. My mother normally does a show right now on Sunset Lady YouTube, but we canceled it today because there's literally, 5,000 to 10,000 people right now there. So I'm staying here. I'm not going nowhere. That's why I ran late, because normally I would be at the beach right now setting up my mother's show. Looks like the sun is coming out here, so it was thunderstorms earlier. So it's going to be a great 4th of July here. Hey, maybe I'll film it. You guys are great. Come back. Happy 4th of July. Come back tomorrow, 4 to 7 p.m. Thanks for everybody who stayed a little bit longer. I normally don't do this, and I won't do it tomorrow. So this is a special thing here because it's 4th of July, and I'm going to leave with my closing song again. You guys are mega, mega, mega awesome. Love from Florida. It's closing time. Happy 4th of July. Ciao.
Closing time. Open all the doors and let you out into the world. Closing time. Turn all of the lights on over every boy and every girl. Closing time. One last call for alcohol, so finish your whiskey or beer. Closing time. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. I know I want to take me home. I know I want to take me home. I know I want to take me home. Take me home. Closing time. Time for you to go out to the places you will be from. Closing time. This room won't be open till your brothers or your sisters come. So gather up your jackets, move into the exits. I hope you have found a friend. Closing time. Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. Yeah. I know I want to take me home. I know I want to take me home. I know I want to take me home. Closing time. Time for you to go out to the places you will be from. I know I want to take me home. I know I want to take me home. I know I want to take me home. Closing time. Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end.
Happy 4th.